With excitement, the man opened his light-reducing mask and a clear view of the Earth came into view. Relieving his mood a little, the man grabbed the edge and flipped out of the airlock, the first time mankind had actually been in space. The man let out a deep breath and released his hands. Up to this point, all the plans had gone exceptionally well, but on the second walk, he suddenly realized that the pressure in the spacesuit was off and the interior was filling up with gas, causing the man to barely be able to make any movement in each of his joints. Bit by bit, he drifted back into the 1.2-meter-wide airlock chamber and finally closed the door before the oxygen ran out. After settling down a bit, they had a new problem. To return to Earth, the spacecraft had to stabilize and then slow down, and since it had flown so many laps that automatic stabilization was no longer possible, the astronauts had to do it manually. On the first attempt, the teammates succeeded in slowing down the rotation speed, but because the men were blocking the observation window, half of the fuel was used without being aimed at Earth. For this reason, the two men unbuckled their seatbelts. A teammate let the man grab his feet, fix the body while looking at the Earth while fine-tuning. In a short while he completed the calibration. At this point the spacecraft has floated smoothly in the second orbit of the Earth. The two astronauts are back in their seats. The slowing down of the ship began to fall towards the Earth, but because of the nitrogen used up earlier, resulting in their fall back to the angle is too small, which may be bounced by the atmosphere back to the universe, and even if they managed to get through the atmosphere they would still be off their intended landing point. But there was nothing the two astronauts could do to change that now. It didn't take long for the two to see that gravity had played its part, and they hurriedly put on their helmets, releasing the reserve braking engines as the ship shuddered and fell. But the separation of the instrumentation modules that followed didn't respond, and soon the entire ship turned into a ball of fire, and the modules that couldn't be separated became torn apart. And even though they had managed to do so, the spinning from the weight caused the two's cockpits to fling themselves into the unknown region. After passing through the clouds, the cockpit successfully opened its parachute, but below was a forest of pine trees, the tips of which pierced the parachute. But fortunately the deceleration engine was successfully activated, and the two of them finally returned to the ground safely. Opening the hatch, the two astronauts returned to Earth in the snow, and at this moment mankind set up another unprecedented monument in the universe.